That's it. That's right.
All right. Well, y'all please give it up for Madam Chair and also Representative Good. They are working every day on our behalf to try to make Tallahassee and to make this state work again. And y'all, I have to tell you, I'm blown away by your showing today. But what I know about your turnout is that you are as committed as I am to putting the words protection back in our Department of Environmental Protection here in the state of Florida. Right? As I have said before, there is no corporate profit big enough to be able to take away our clean water. Right? There is no entity out there powerful enough to be able to contaminate our air and our water and our beaches, which all of us enjoy recreating in from time to time. We got to be very clear. We cannot allow Rick Scott and Ron DeSantis to become election year environmentalists. We're not interested in that. We're not interested in that. They have had the opportunity, in my opponent's case, for 6 years in Congress to do right by the state of Florida. In the case of Governor Rick Scott, he's had 8 years. And what did he do? He turned the reins of environmental protection over to the biggest polluters in this state. Our water, our air, our oceans, all of this have been compromised under Republican control. Well, y'all, we have an opportunity, and I invite all decent Republicans, all decent and common sense Democrats and independents and non-party affiliates. Forget about the red associated with the Republican Party or the blue associated with the state of Florida's oceans and the state of Florida's Democratic Party. I want you to consider these colors. While my opponent would love you to be focused on the color of my skin, I want you to be focused on the blue-green algae flowing out of the east and the west side of this state of Guacamole County. I want you to be focused on the blue oceans that all of us want to enjoy. I want you to be focused on the green of our environment and the solar energy revolution that we're going to build in this state when we win this state again in November. I want you to be focused. I want you to be focused on the fact that we have an opportunity to elect a governor who actually believes in science. Who believes that we've got to pay attention to the fact that climate change and global warming is real. We live in a state that is surrounded by water on 3 sides. Right? What governor ignores the impacts of sea level rise when you're a state that sits at the epicenter of impact from global climate change and sea level rise? Well, when you elect me governor of the state of Florida, we're going to reconstitute our Climate Change and Resiliency Commission to help make recommendations around what we've got to do as a state of Florida, not only to be more resilient in the face of climate change, but to teach the rest of the world how you build a state that can rebound and build a green economy that allows people to go to work, keeping our environment clean, keeping our air and our water quality strong, and making sure that we have a planet that our kids and our children and our children's children can inherit. But we can't have that when you've got deniers who are leading our government. You can't have that when you've got Ron DeSantis who has tried to strip away our environmental and our water quality at the federal level. Right? You can't have that when you allow for right-wing extreme ideologues to set policy for the future of our state's environment. It will not work. Well, listen, y'all, we have a chance to flip all of that this year. We have a chance to put the interests of everyday working people back at the forefront of the people who lead this state. I believe from the fiber of my being that the power of the people is greater than the people in power. And what we have a chance to do, what we have a chance to do in this election is we have a chance to show up like we have never shown up before. Y'all, we have to get out there, and we've got to vote like our lives depend on it. Because the truth is our lives do depend on who the next governor is of the state of Florida. Our oceans, our water quality, our environment, the nitrates that are flowing into our groundwater. It matters who the governor is of the state of Florida. It matters that the governor of the state of Florida does the bidding of the people of this state and not the powerful special interests of the state of Florida. We can change the outcome. We can change and alter the future of this state so that the Sunshine State could actually mean something when we say we're the Sunshine State.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can build a green economy that makes way for working people and educated college graduates and those who may have dropped out, those who may have graduated with just a high school degree, who want to be able to get a job where they're contributing to the sustainability of this state. We got to give them the skills that they need to be able to do that. We got to stop telling our kids that they're disposable. We're going to let our kids know that there is a place for every last single one of them in this state when we build an economy that works for everybody, not just the well-heeled and the well-connected. And if you think that our environment is in any way disconnected from that, you've got another thing coming. The future of this state very much so depends on what we do to protect our green environment. It depends on the businesses that have sprung up all around this area that depend on the tourism and the ecotourism that helps to power the state of Florida.
Yes.
Where nobody wants to come hang out on a beach if they've got to fight guacamole content in order to enjoy themselves.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to come to a state where your transportation policies are so outdated that the only way you think people can move is in a car. That's outdated, and that's not the future of the state of Florida. Listen, we could have had just north of here, Barack Obama tried to send us over $2 billion to build high-speed rail across the I-4 corridor. What did our governor say? He said, no, thank you. Listen, y'all, I don't have anything in common with Donald Trump. I don't have anything in common. But I can tell you this. If Donald Trump tries to send me $2 billion to build high-speed rail, I'm going to take it. Because it's good. It is in the best interest of the people in the future of the state of Florida. And I'm convinced, y'all, that the job of the governor of the state of Florida is to do what is in the best interest of the people of our great state. When you elect me, we're going to do what is in the best interest of the people of our state. But y'all, this election could not be more critical.
That's right.
The stakes could not be any more higher. Not only when it comes to our environment and what we do to protect it, but also when it comes to health care. For over 800,000 people who right now, if we expanded Medicaid, could get access to life-saving medicine on a regular, routine basis and not just in emergency rooms. My opponent's answer to how you get access to health care for everybody is he says they can always go to the emergency room. Now, why does that matter on a day that we're talking about our environment? Because we know that our environment very much so weighs on the well-being and on the health of the people of this state.
That's right.
I want you to understand that when we talk about our environment, when we talk about green, we're not just talking about the green that's around us. We're also talking about an economy that works for people, a green economy. When we talk about health care, it is connected to the environment. If people aren't breathing in good air, if their water is contaminated, if we have saltwater intrusion on our natural water bodies, if we got nitrates that are flowing into our groundwater in septic tanks that are so age-old, they have no use other than the contamination of our environment. All of this is interwoven. It's interconnected. We're not single-issue voters. We are Floridians. And we want a governor who's going to do the work for all of Florida. Well, listen, y'all, we can't have that if we don't do our jobs. We can't have that if we don't show up and show out and vote in this election like we have never voted before. If we do our job and show up and participate in this process, if we remind every single person that we come in contact with that democracy is not a spectator sport, that it requires our engagement, our involvement, the pull and take of powerful versus those who have less power. Our election day vote is the one thing that makes us all equal. That every single one of us, regardless of where we come from, what side of town we grew up on, what side of the tracks our parents or we live in, that all of us have the right to vote. And for that 1.7 million who don't have the right, we're working on their behalf too. We're working on their behalf too. Which is why I'm a strong endorser of Amendment 4. But y'all, it is important. It is incumbent upon every single one of us to understand what the power of intersectionality is around the issues we care about. We don't want them to see us only as people who hug trees, right? I love hugging trees. But I want you to know I'm hugging them because I care about the future. When I talk about our oceans and our clean water and our clean air, I'm not talking about it because I'm a single issue voter or a single issue consumer. I'm talking about it because I understand that the livelihood, the health, the safety, the security, the future of the state very much so depends on what happens there.
Yes.
Don't let us be marginalized by their definitions. We're Floridians who care about the future of this state. And anybody who cares about the future ought to join us on this mission.
Yes.
I want to be very clear. We've got an opportunity. But that opportunity is right now. Over 2 million ballots are being mailed to households today and throughout the rest of this week. Election day is a myth. There's no election day anymore. There's an election month. People are voting already in the state of Florida, so we've got to talk to everybody. We've got to give everybody a reason to turn out and vote. We've got to let them know that when they go and vote, when we win, we will represent them, we will see them, we will hear them, and we will reflect their lived experiences again in this state. But we can't do it if we don't win. We can't do it if we don't show up and vote. And so I want you to know that not only am I going to be a champion on these issues today, but our championing of these issues will only matter if you get to send Margaret Good back to the House. And you get to send me to the governor's mansion. And not only do you send me to the governor's mansion, you send a whole slate of the cabinet and our House and our Senate members all back to Tallahassee and let them know in unmitigated circumstances that the people of this state demand change, and we demand it right now. We demand it right now. So I'm so thankful to each of you for everything that you're doing. And I want to challenge you to do more. This is our state. And if we want to arrest control back from the people who have had the power for the last 20 and 24 years, we got to get out there and vote. We got to get out there and organize. We got to get out there and give just a little bit of our time, our energy, our effort, our resources, because our future is worth it.
Yes.
Our future is worth what we're putting into it, right?
Yes.
I've gone all across the state of Florida, to red areas, to blue areas, to purple areas, right? I've even gone to the villages, y'all. Some of y'all know about the villages. It is the most conservative area of voting in our state. And people ask me, Gillum, what are you doing in the villages? I said, there are voters in the villages. Because when you're the governor of the state of Florida, you got to be the governor for all of the state of Florida. Red areas, blue areas, purple areas. I went to them to describe to them my North Star for the future of this state and where we want to go. And when I finished, an elderly white gentleman stood up midway through the room and said, I believe that Andrew Gillum ought to be the next governor of the great state of Florida. And then he went further and said, I want to give you $20 to help you out. All right? If y'all are like me, I was like, this is the villages. I know you got more than $20. And then he turned around to the rest of the people there and said, if you believe Gillum ought to be governor, I want you to give him $5, $10, or $20. Well, y'all, we walked away from that meet and greet turn impromptu fundraiser, raising nearly $6,000 in $5, $10, and $20 contributions. Why do I share that with you? I share that with you because we have to stop treating the race for governor as if it's the electoral college. You don't win one county and lose a county. Win one and lose another. The one you win is by winning one more vote than your opponent. And that vote may come from anywhere throughout the length and the breadth of this state, so we're going to go there. And we're going to fight every step of the way, and I'm not going to change a darn thing that I have to say, because I believe we're going to win this not by capitulating on what we believe, but by leaning directly into what we believe. And giving our voters a reason to go out there and vote for something and not just against something. We have a chance to do that in this election, and I am determined to make it happen. We're going to win this race for governor because all of you and everybody else under the sound of my voice and the people who we interact with all across the state understand what is at risk. our air, our water, our oceans, our economy, our healthcare, a woman's right to determine her own reproductive health. All of those issues matter in this race. And so while I am exceedingly proud to be the mayor of the city that is the fastest growing economy in the state of Florida per capita, I'm extremely proud to be the mayor of the city that broke ground the same week Donald Trump pulled out of the Paris Accord. We broke ground on a 120-acre solar farm, tripling the amount of solar energy that we produce. That's what we're doing as a state. I'm proud to be the mayor of the city that is experiencing a 5-year low in our crime rate. I'm proud to be a mayor of a city that has more tree cover than almost any other city of our size across this state, because we love our environment. But it is my hope that the next time we see each other, I will greet you as the next governor of the great state of Florida. Let's bring it home, everybody. Let's bring it home, everybody. Let's bring it home, everybody. My name is Andrew Gillum, and with your help, I will become the next governor of the great state of Florida. God bless everybody. Good luck. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, my nigga. Let's win. Let's win, guys. Let's win. Let's win. Let's work and let's win. Let's get a quick photo. Let's get a selfie. Yes, sir.
Wear their blue shirts out everywhere to the restaurant.
I'm going to grab that.
Awesome. One more. Let's get a little bit of back.
People come up to me and
Awesome.
say,
All right. Thank you for everything. Let's go do it, y'all. Indeed. Absolutely.
I just want you to read that.
Yeah.
Call on Jess.
Got it.
I now know that we've got a couple of folks.
On social media.
A couple of folks who have questions. And so I want to give the media that is assembled an opportunity to ask a few questions while we are here. Representative Good, myself, we're happy to answer whatever we can while we've got some time.
Let's start with Jess.
Jess?
Yeah, that's
Hey there.
so obviously your education plan is significantly different than